Committee of Public Works and Infrastructure,
Ek is die voorsitter vir die komitee vir openbare werke en infrastruktuur
in the National Assembly,
in die nasionale vergadering.
deployed by the ANC in Parliament
Ek is ontplooi deur die ANC in die parlement
from the province of the Legends, Eastern Cape.
en ek is van die provinsie van Legendes, die Oos-Kaap.
I will now allow honorable members of the Portfolio Committee to introduce themselves.
Ek sal nou geleentheid gee aan die agbare lede van die komitee om homself voor te stel aan u.
Thank you.
Baie dankie.
Goeiemôre mense van Kimberley.
Good morning people of Kimberley.
Dit is 'n groot voorreg om hier vanoggend te wees saam met julle.
It is a great privilege to be here today with you all.
My naam is Samantha Graham Murray.
My name is Samantha Graham Murray.
Ek is 'n lid van die DA
I'm a member of the DA
en ek dien op die portefeulje van openbare werke en infrastruktuur.
and I serve on the Portfolio Committee for Public Works and Infrastructure.
Ek wil baie dankie sê aan almal dat julle hier vanoggend is om saam met ons julle insette te gee.
I would like to thank you all for being here today to give your inputs.
En ek wil groete bring van my huisdorpie Graafrenet in die Oos-Kaap.
And I would like to send my regards from my hometown of Graafrenet in the Eastern Cape.
Baie dankie.
Thank you very much.
Môre almal.
Good morning everyone.
My naam is Madeleine Hicklin.
My name is Madeleine Hicklin.
Ek verteenwoordig ook die Demokratiese Alliansie.
I represent the DA as well.
Ek kom uit Midrand in Gauteng
I come from Midrand in Gauteng.
en ek wil ook julle baie dankie sê dat julle hier aangekom het in Kimberley.
And I would like to thank you all for coming here coming together today here in Kimberley.
I welcome the comments that you're about to make on this Expropriation Bill 23 of 2020.
Ek verwelkom al die insaal wat gemaak gaan word oor hierdie onteieningswetsontwerp nommer 23 van 2020
And thank you for coming.
en ek bedank u dat u hierin gekom het.
Goeiemôre almal.
Good morning everyone.
My naam is Wayne Thring.
My name is Wayne Thring.
Ek is van KwaZulu-Natal, Pinetown af.
I'm from Pinetown in KwaZulu-Natal.
Ek is 'n lid van die ACDP
I'm a member of the ACDP
and on behalf of my political party I represent the party in this committee of Public Works and Infrastructure.
en ek verteenwoordig my party in hierdie komitee van openbare werke en infrastruktuur.
Baie mooi om almal te sien vanmôre
It is lovely to see you all here today.
and I look forward to hearing your comments. Mag die Here u ryklik seën. Baie dankie.
En ek sien uit om julle kommentaar te hoor and may God bless you. Thank you.
Sanbonani.
Good morning.
Gama ulindi kamjobo.
My name is Lindy Wemchobo.
Suka kwaZulu Natal.
I hail from the province of KwaZulu-Natal.
Okukhulu kunako konke ngililunga leAfrican National Congress in good standing.
First and foremost, and of paramount importance, I am a member of the African National Congress in good standing.
Ingithume lapha kwi-National Assembly eCape Town as a member of parliament.
The ANC has deployed me in Parliament in the National Assembly.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu ukuba nani namhlanje ngizwa ngithobeka.
I feel honored and grateful to be part and parcel of this meeting with you. Thank you.
Sanibonani.
Good morning.
Igama lami ngimTim Mashele,
My name is Tim Mashele.
a member of this portfolio committee
Ilungu lale Portfolio Committee.
from Bushbuck region, Mpumalanga.
Ndisuka eBushbuck Ridge phaya kwiphondo leMpumalanga.
Deployed in the National Assembly by the African National Congress.
Ndithunyelwe phaya ke ku-National Assembly, African National Congress.
Ngiyabonga kuba khona lana today.
I thank all of you for being here and I'm also honored to be here.
Thank you very much.
Enkosi.
Goeiemôre almal.
Good morning, everyone.
Ek is Sharon van Skalkwyk,
I'm Sharon van Skalkwyk.
'n lid van die ANC,
I'm a member of the ANC,
ontplooi na die nasionale vergadering.
and I am deployed by the National Assembly.
Ek is deel van die portfolio komitee van openbare werke en infrastruktuur
I'm a member of the Portfolio Committee for Public Works and Infrastructure,
en ek is van Appington.
and I come from Uppington.
En dis goed om vandag hier te wees. Baie dankie.
And it is good to be here today. Thank you very much.
Good morning.
Goeiemôre.
My name is Elfas Matebula.
My naam is Elvis Matebula.
I'm a member of parliament representing the African National Congress,
Ek
the
is 'n-
only people's movement.
Ek is 'n parlementslid wat die ANC verteenwoordig. Dit is die enigste menseparty.
I'm also a servant and a member of this important committee.
Ek is ook 'n amptenaar en lid van hierdie belangrike komitee.
I come from Mpumalanga as my province, from an area called Henry Nagwaza Moguhle.
Ek kom van 'n dorpie in Mpumalanga.
It is my great honor, therefore, to be part of this important gathering.
Dit is my voorreg en 'n eer om deel te wees van hierdie belangrike vergadering.
I hope and believe that this is going to be one of those hearings that is going to be a success.
Ek-
Enkosi.
Ek glo dat hierdie een van die verhore wees wat 'n sukses sal wees. Baie dankie.
Thank you, honorable members.
Baie dankie agbare lede.
Amongst us, we have our colleagues
Saam met ons hier het ons kollegas
who are serving in the Northern Cape Provincial Legislature.
wat in die Noord-Kaapse provinsiale wetgewer dien.
They are all from the DA.
Hulle is almal verteenwoordigers van die DA.
Honorable Steenkamp,
Agbare Steenkamp,
if you can just raise your hand.
steek net die hand op.
Thank you.
Dankie.
Honorable Lienbeck.
Agbare Leenberg,
And then we also have councillors of the local municipality.
dan het ons ook raadslede van die plaaslike munisipaliteit.
Councillor George Joseph.
Raadslid George Joseph,
Councillor Wesley van Rooyen.
raadslid Wesley van Rooyen.
Thank you. If there are
Thank you.
any councillors or MPLs, can you please just come to us and bring your name? We will introduce you properly.
As daar enige raadslede of parlementslede is van die wetgewer, kom asseblief na ons toe met u naam. Ons sal u behoorlik dan bekendstel, verwelkom.
We have the traditional leadership.
Ons het die tradisionele leierskap hier teenwoordig.
We have the traditional leadership that is amongst us here. Chief Antonio Sabao,
Antonio Sabao,
the leader of KU. You are welcome, Chief, in this meeting. We all know the history of the first citizens of this country. We are happy that you have joined us today. Thank you. Leaders of the political parties, community leaders that are here today,
Leiers van politieke partye en van die gemeenskap wat hier teenwoordig is vandag.
as the Portfolio Committee of Public Works and Infrastructure,
As hierdie portefeulje komitee van openbare werke en infrastruktuur,
we are here to seek your views
is ons hier om u insaag in te samel
on the Expropriation Bill number 23 of 2020.
op hierdie Onteieningswetsontwerp 23 van 2020.
This bill seeks to repeal Expropriation Act number 63 of 1975.
Hierdie wetsontwerp wil graag artikels 63 van 1975 herroep
to ensure that expropriation is done according to the current constitution of the country.
om te verseker dat onteiening plaasvind en belyn is met die huidige grondwet van die land.
As we all know that currently expropriation is happening
Ons weet tans onteiening vind plaas
by all the expropriating authorities,
deur al die onteieningsowerhede.
which are the departments and the municipalities.
Dit is nou departemente en munisipaliteite.
This bill seeks to ensure that there are uniform ways and standards on expropriating properties for public purpose and public interest.
Hierdie wetsontwerp is gemik daarop om te verseker dat daar uniforme standaarde en regulasies is vir die onteiening van eiendom vir openbare gebruik en openbare doeleindes.
We are in no way here trying to amend Section 25 of the Constitution.
Ons is geensins hier om artikel 25 van die grondwet te probeer wysig nie.
That process is before Parliament as we speak.
Daardie proses is reeds voor die parlement soos ons hier sit.
Its public hearings were done in 2020.
Die openbare verhore is in 2020 afgehandel.
We here with the Expropriation Bill.
Ons is hier met die onteieningswetsontwerp.
You are free to express your views without fear or favor.
U kan veilig voel om u opinies te lig sonder enige vrees van vervolging.
You only have 3 minutes to do so.
U het wel slegs 3 minute om dit te doen.
You're free to use any of the 11 official languages.
U is welkom enige van die 11 amptelike landstale te gebruik.
When presenting your views,
Wanneer u nou u opinie lig,
please don't insult or humiliate those you don't agree with.
moet asseblief nie die mense met wie u dalk nie noodwendig saamstem beledig of verneder nie.
And also please don't insult us that are here as the members of the Portfolio Committee.
En moet ook asseblief nie ons wat hier as lede van die portefeulje komitee is beledig nie.
As I indicated earlier,
Soos ek vroeër aangedui het,
you only have 3 minutes.
het u slegs 3 minute.
Once the 3 minutes is over, we will definitely stop you.
Wanneer hierdie 3 minute verstreke is, sal ons u beslis stop.
We will then point hands to those that would like to speak.
Ons sal uitlig na die hande wat wil praat.
Can you please raise hands?
Die mense wat wil praat, steek asseblief jou hande op.
That is our number. In fact, our number 1 is going to be Chief Antonio, but our number 2, the lady there, can you please come here?
Ons eerste spreker sal die stamhoof wees, die tweede is die dame daar.
Any other
daar
hand on
agter.
this side?
Enige ander hand aan hierdie kant?
Can you please assist me, security, all those that have hands, you
Sekuriteit,
direct them
kan jy
here.
asseblief help met die mense wat wil
We're
praat?
starting with this side and then we'll come to this side.
Ons begin aan hierdie kant en daarna sal ons oorbeweeg na die ander kant toe.
Okay, on this side,
Goed, aan hierdie kant.
okay, thank you.
Goed, dankie.
As the culture dictates to us,
Soos kultuur voorskryf,
we will allow Ms. Martha Mangumbu, who is the personal assistant to Chief, introduce the Chief formally.
sal ons me Martha Maglubu geleentheid gee om namens die stamhoof die voorlegging te doen. Sy is sy persoonlike assistent.
As they are still busy writing those that will be speaking, Ms.
Hulle is-
Martha, can you please introduce the Chief?
Hulle is besig om nog die name te neem van die persone wat gaan praat, so kom ons vra haar om asseblief die stamhoof voor te stel.
ko komang iwisi se man ngoi ke thanga ke ku ya ai ke thli go jao ta mi chi pangi ka mong apanga mà chơi tham ác hè cái gọi là yang hay cái na hay mà chỉ theo quy đã mới chỉ qua mà căng mà bằng cái quảng mà thằng hay cái ngâu yang hayว่าของไอ้ traditional cái ngâu yang hay juga chính ngâu hay ya kia juga hale hay yaว่าอันตัวอยู่ chief sabau แต่ya chỉ tự kia căng quy mà căng hay ya hay cáiว่าmasih ko yang hayว่าcái cái chút tipaว่าđã căng mà khát chung châu chief anตัวอยู่ sabau ngào quý chị án chị tới hắn này ya căng quy
mang nga ba ko bong gay ko kwa miko wa adonyo sabaw tamawa kung ngawa ta chige ma tu thanga kwa ma khamithali makwa kang africans makwa khamithali ta ma khamithali me ayathali tamba to nga ba ko mi ka ko ke ka o he kaya ma chi ngokwa tunde ko ma muge chia ma ba nga ta tampiki khaskinner wa me wa he ma ke chinga ha nga wa tang ke wa ka mi ke ya mi sogoshim ma ke nga ka ke kaya ma cha ngokwa ta tang khong tang makwa hei ka of mak hei khoron bet mi nga me wa khong tama nga khoron bet ta kaya macha nga khoron bet ya chio chao tama kwe chit khwang ge sie bang ge kho hege o khoron bet ikwe hei khong ga ge khong ta gyang ngole ka ta ike shu ta khong ke kulang ngole kang ta ike ta ke kawai kunasi ta kaya kaya sing khong ikha ke ye ta ka kuwa chika he ye ta kawai to ya sing i kuling koi ke chama i henga ba koi ke khoi kha khong ke kwang ta chike mang ka
Apologies, Chief. There is a lot of noise there at the back. Please, our security. There is a lot of noise. I don't know whether it's coming from outside or what, but we really need people to keep quiet.
Desculpa, Chief.
Remember, there is recording that is being done.
Thank you.
Tang halengu sago matang 5 tak halengu sang tak mo kang dri te makak tuak ne ka tema mamaka anfar ta ta ken chko kwa ge front vet ta maktuak hei mi man ngot nga ka mi anga ka ka kote pa mi anga ka ka ngola ta mi hei kalang ne kwe ma nga he ma ke nga mi mari ka ngai kala ka ma hei ta kai he wang tham ngai kang ka nga ma nga ta ma ke ma to tua sa ka hang ka ma ka wa ta ka hei mi man ngwang ne ta sogoshung ka ka te pa ka gua khong ka ko ne wa chikan do wa chikang ya ngun aka tam sing hei chikada hei gem chwa handir kwa ka he au kwa ke ka wa tuam wa minga te mik twa kan chi wo ta ma nga chi ke ma chang ta so ke me kang ma hei ta kang ngos ke ma sing wa ka ke ba to sa ka hang ma hei chi ke ma tlang ta ka ma to hei chi ke ma tlang ta ma ko hei ke minga ke ngia mi khwa ta o ka ma sing hei nga ba ke ka khom ba ye ke ge he a chi ke wa na ya kya ngole apa dia hei chi khwa da mto nga ang e chi ka na kang tuatu tanjatu isim hei nga ba ke ngole khausi thank you.
Good morning. My name is Martha Magumbu, and the work that I'm going to done is I'm going to introduce the chief of the Kron leader, which is Antonio Sabao. I thank you. I, Chief Antonio Sabao, I am not going to speak Afrikaans. I'm going to speak my own mother tongue. I'm very happy to be here today to talk to you guys and that you have given me opportunity to talk to you. I am not so quite well with the Land Act and the Bill of Rights. So I'm just going to also sit and hear what you guys are going to talk, and then afterwards, I think I will have the clue of it. The bill, I'm not so quite well with it, as I mentioned before. And then, as I see today, I am the Kron leader, and I'm standing in front of you, and it looks like me a dream come true to me that you guys give me opportunity to talk amongst you. Today I'm sitting here, and the Bill of the Right, I'm not familiar with it as it is. And what it is the Bill of Right. If you have got somebody that he have his own land, you mustn't chase him away of his land. This is very important for me. As the chief, I'm standing here in front of you, and I have been in the bush, and I never have known what is the bill and what is the act. So I'm also learning it in front today with you guys, so that you also inform me, and then if I get the clarity about it, I will then understand it, and then know what is the Bill of the Right and also the act. I'm also given 5 minutes, and I'm not sure is it 5 minutes or 3 minutes that I'm going to talk. So I will be using this opportunity to thank all the members who've sitting here and the people who've gathered here. And then also I'm going to sit and then listen to what you say, and then after, maybe if I have a chance, I will be getting a chance again and then talk about the Bill of the Right, because I'm not quite sure and not understanding the Bill of the Right. I thank you.
Good morning all. My name is Franette Liebenberg. I am a member of the Democratic Alliance and a member of the Northern Cape Legislature, serving on the Department or the Portfolio of Agriculture. I'm here also in my own capacity, as well as a member of legislature, to give the experience of what my experience is in the legislature of governance. I am not supporting this bill, unfortunately, due to the fact that I think that the government is trying to hide behind a new bill to give people hope to obtain land. I'm sitting every day with the challenges facing the portfolio committees and the people on the ground. If we look at expropriation, Kimberley is the front door of the first expropriation land in South Africa, which is Peniel, just outside of Kimberley. Unfortunately, those people are still not sitting with their own title deed. They're under a CPA, and unfortunately, they're under the dictatorship of the government telling them what to do, when to do, and how to do it. They do not have any input of who can farm on their property. The department will decide that. If the department is giving funding to them, the department will decide who is going to benefit from that funding. So unfortunately, the experience from my side when expropriation is taking place is that the government does not have the capacity and the capability and the will to do it correctly, to use people that have the knowledge and to assist them in full. If we look at experiences elsewhere in the world, you see experiences like Zimbabwe, which is unfortunately a very negative experience and relationship to expropriation, or you see Japan, where expropriation goes along with capability, capacity, and support. The government is not doing that at this stage. If they cannot do it on a smaller scale that they currently have, how can we expect them to do that when they have a large expropriation? It cannot happen. Going to commonage land, the government has the full means of transforming and doing transformation in land and title deeds currently. They're not utilizing it. Commonage land, farmers are being landlocked within commonage land. They're not getting the skills and the development to become commercial farmers. To allow this act to go through is giving huge problems and certainty within our economy in South Africa. The economy in the Northern Cape may collapse. All of us is aware of the fact that the Northern Cape is a semi-desert area. So there's climate challenges. So if a farmer is having huge loans from a bank, and there's no certainty about when and how his farm can be expropriated for public purposes, or the Platfontein community, who's not fully utilizing their property, can be expropriated for other means, and that is for me problematic. If you do not have certainty that your property is your own, I cannot support this bill. I thank you.
Thanks.
Good morning, committee, parliament members. My name is Stephen Benny, and I am a South African. Our country has got a very colored past with land issues. And some of them are well known, but some of them are not that well known. And as we are in Galashiwe, I brought along the story of a Tswana person. And I found it in the book of letters written by Tswana people. And this person is Mukalale Modisapodi. He lived in the Bloemfontein area, or if you prefer Mangaung, in 1893. He writes this letter. To the editor, I read the newspaper of July, and I was embarrassed as I read, hearing about the behavior of Tswana rulers regarding areas of land. I wanted to be astonished as I heard it, except that here it is also like that. I mean, in the land of the Baralong, the Banshu, whose owners were chased away, so that it could be given to Europeans. Now my boy is being taken out by crowbar, and the boy is taken by a spade and smooth steel horses. And then the part that is really relevant this morning. The great loss is rulers who sometimes say that the land is theirs, but it is for the Morafe and not simply for the Khotsi. When we take expropriation, we must take it very seriously. Government is always about a balance between what we have and what we need. And when we expropriate, we must make certain that we keep that balance at all cost. When we do not balance but disregard the rights of people, like we are doing since 2018 with the expropriation without compensation, then we join the ranks of all those leaders in the past of South Africa that have misused their power, that have disregarded the rights of others. That is not necessary. We can do better. And I believe that this government will do the right thing and make certain that there is a balance between the rights of people. Thank you.
Goeiemôre. Ek is Mitchell Holsthuizen. Ek is 'n Suid-Afrikaner. Ek support hierdie bill of expropriation and compensation. Ek dink vir al die jare en ek wil ook dankie sê vir hierdie government van ons, hierdie teenwoordige government van ons, waar president Cyril Ramaphosa die president is wat ons hierdie geleentheid gee om te kan praat oor land expropriation. Ek dink ons het nooit hierdie geleentheid gehad om te praat oor die land nie, waarvan ons deel is van hierdie land se besitting. Ek dink in 1969 is ons uit ons land uitgesit. En as ons kyk wat nou daar gebou is, daar is GWK is gebou daarso, daar is 'n factory gebou wat 280 miljoen rand is. En ek dink dit is nou baie hoogtyd nou dat die land hierdie ding na vore gebring het, hierdie expropriation bill, waarvan ons deel is, dat ons ons land kan terugkry. Want 97% van die white population besit hierdie land. En as jy so afry en jy kyk en jy ry af, dan sien jy, dis junior wit. Jy kan by 6 plase agter mekaar, 7 plase agter mekaar kan jy verbyry, dan sien jy is net een eienaar, is net een surname wat hierdie plase besit. En dit het hoogtyd geword dat hierdie plase wat vir jare terug ons was uitgesit uit ons plaas, uit ons gronde uit. En vir al die jare het die boere, die blankes, het hulle ons mense geandepuit en hulle het nie van hierdie mense opgelei om ook boere, om eienaars te wees van hierdie plase nie. Ons kan gaan kyk, baie van hierdie blankes is biljonairs. Ek wil nie eens praat van miljonairs nie. Hulle is biljonairs. Hulle is biljonairs, nee. Maar dit wat hulle vir ons mense gee, die geld wat hulle gee, jy kan net 'n mieliemeel gaan koop. Jy kan nie eens 1200 rand se kos gaan koop nie. En is hoogtyd nou, dat het tyd geword, dat daar transformasie moet gebeur in hierdie land expropriation bill. Baie dankie.
Good morning. I'm Mitchell Holsthuizen, and I'm a South African. And I'm here to support this expropriation bill without compensation. You know, I've been thinking for many years, and I'm here today to say thanks for our government. Thank you so much for President Cyril Ramaphosa, who is now giving us the opportunity to openly talk about this bill. and about expropriation. You see, in the past, we didn't have what we have now. We don't have anything now either. We are part of South Africa, you see. In 1969, we were put out of the land that we had, of the ground that we had. And if you look at where we were back then, if you drive past there now, you'll see that GWK is built there. You'll see that there are extremely big factories built there. And right now, our country brought this expropriation discussion to the front. 97% of the farms that are owned here are owned by white people. If you drive past these farms, you can drive past 6, 7, 8 farms, and you'll see one owner, one surname. Right now, it is high time that we talk about this. We were sent away, and the whites underpaid us. They didn't train us to farm or to develop us to become owners. You see, the whites are billionaires. I'm not even talking about the millionaires. I'm talking about billionaires. And the money they gave us is not even enough to buy maize meal with. Now is the time for change. And I think that this expropriation bill will do that.
Good morning. I'm George Joseph, a DA councillor in the Soplaiki municipality. I am a DA councillor in the Soplaiki municipality. I am opposed to this expropriation without compensation bill. The National Department of Rural Development and Land Reform owns nearly 2.7 million hectares of unutilized land. The Department of Public Works has almost 2 million hectares of unutilized land. And the Department of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries has almost 73,000 hectares of farmland. That's just the property owned by 3 departments, which can be developed for South Africans' benefits. So why do you want to steal property from the private individuals when government is sitting with so many and so much land, of which is suitable for development or agriculture or for both? I thank you.
Dumelang, goeiemorgen, good morning. Let me take this opportunity to thank you for giving us this opportunity. It is greatly appreciated. Let me also take this opportunity to acknowledge our honorable members, colleagues, the chief, and the community at large. I am Khomotso Charity Mohapanele, born and bred in the Northern Cape, and I am here representing the Democratic Alliance. And this is my submission. I am opposed to the expropriation without compensation. How will expropriation without compensation affect the estate agency businesses all across South Africa? Government will become the state custodian of property. Thousands and thousands of jobs will be lost. And then what next? Will government take over hotels and guest houses and run these into the ground as well? Expropriation without compensation will kill what is left of this economy. I thank you. Ke a leboga.
Thank you very much. Good day, colleagues. Let me acknowledge the Honourable Portfolio Committee members from Parliament, members of the Northern Cape Legislature, colleagues from the religious fraternity, our leadership from the traditional houses here this morning, fellow members present here of the Parliamentary Caucus, and all protocols observed. Let me take this opportunity firstly to introduce myself. My name is Abel van Wyk. I am an administrator in the ANC Parliamentary Constituency Office, Richie, but I'm here in my personal capacity as chairperson of the Richie CPA. We are from Richie, a small town situated almost 40 kilometers from Kimberley on the southern part. And according to the latest stats of, we are 35,000 people in the Richie. I'm leading a group of small farmers, 58 in total, with a grazing land of 1,522 hectares, but it's not enough for us. But all in all, we support the Expropriation Bill 23 of 2020. I think that we are going currently through unprecedented times when it comes to land. Land is a very sensitive and tedious issue, and we trust that the government of the day will work in its transformation agenda to make sure that people who has not been having access for so many years to acquire land. We based our submission and is motivated by the following. We have been inundated by calls from various societal formations, including small farmers, sporting fraternity, church platforms, cultural society, youth and women formation, LGBTI and society as a whole, to acquire land for public interest. Currently in the area where I stay, there is only one community hall, and the hall belongs to the local municipality. And to get the hall or to hire it is exorbitant. You can't even afford to pay 2,000 rand, for instance, for a party or something. So it's also quite concerning that prime land currently belongs to white people. You'd find that water is the source of life. And where we are staying, we are between a river, and the rest from Richie to Kimberley belongs to white people. So it's very important that we restore the dignity of people by accessing land. The failures that happened in the past with redistribution of land, I think it can be rectified, it can be corrected. It's only that as a rainbow country, we need to come together and make sure that we correct the inequalities of the past. I'm also saying that we're having churches who are having services from their backyards or maybe from their houses, and that thing we must nip it in the bud. We have to make sure that in processes such as these, we do not really insult or demean anybody. But I know that without land, you do not have really a proper existence. So we support this bill, and based on the previous speakers, I think that really it has become time that we transform South Africa, and we do not want to have a similar situation and experience like in Zimbabwe and in other countries. But with these few words, I thank you very much and all the best of luck for this process. Thanks.
Good morning. My name is Chris Whittaker. I'm a resident of Kimberley, and I oppose this bill. I would just like to raise 2 points. I first find the term public interest and public purpose too vague, and it can be easily manipulated, as we have seen laws manipulated in this country before. I would also like to know, when this land is expropriated, if this bill goes through, who is going to take on the current debts? Are the financial institutions supposed to take the losses? Will the owners or the previous owners be forced to pay for property they no longer own? Or is the government, through taxpayers, going to be paying these costs off? And then where's the government going to get the money from? Because as it is, we cannot increase SASSA grants to go with inflation. We're stagnating on our SASSA grants. So how are we going to then find the funds? We've recently had to borrow 500 billion for PPEs, and we all know what's happened with the PPE money. So that's all I would like to raise. Thank you.
My name is Priscilla McGlure, and I oppose to expropriation without compensation. Title deed will become null in void. And EWC deprives citizens of the right and the honor to own properties. And the state will surely have to pay transfer fees to have all properties legally listed under its portfolio. Simply doesn't have such funds. Government is bankrupt.
Good day, people. My name is Catherine Duplessis. I'm representing the Democratic Alliance. From my point of view, according to expropriation without compensation, it's like I don't even have my Bill of Rights because I don't know where my Bill of Rights is standing at this moment. Because at the point where I'm staying, I've been looking for assistance according to government, but government can't give me assistance towards my uncle's house. And with my next door neighbors also, they were stealing the ground that I'm staying on, building their house in my yard. And government didn't do anything about it. I went to them and asked them for help, but they didn't do anything about it. Talked to my sister's children also, who's staying at the hostels. My sister died and left the house with the kids. But from that point of view, nothing has been done. So my sister's children are running around, they don't even have a place to stay. So what is happening according to government? Why can't they assist? And what I feel upon this expropriation is like we have been robbed. We have been unfairly treated towards our rights as community and as South African citizens. And thank you. I really do appreciate it. Bye.
Can we take hands from this side? Those that have their hands up, they must come to this. Wait a little bit. Okay. Can I ask again that when there is a speaker on the floor, the level of noise must be reduced. We are recording this, but we can hear even us that are up there, that people are talking and are making noise, and we can't hear the speaker properly. So I'm pleading with you. I have been informed that there are other people out there that would like to speak. They will be registered. Maybe after this group will then allow them to come in. Those that maybe have spoken, we are humbly asking them to just give us some seats so that others may come in. But we must do that quietly so that there is no noise that is being made. Thank you.
Thank you so much. My name is Tandiwe Mfulo. You know, when we say there should be no compensation, I agree with that. Because up to date, my parents' land was taken, they were never compensated. So why should we now be saying that people should be compensated because they've taken our land? So they're double dipping because now they took it for free. Now we must pay them because they've taken it for free. I don't agree with that. Thank you so much.
Can you please introduce yourself, my sister?
Oh, my name is Tandi Wemful. Thank you.
Goedemorgen allemaal, ik is Rebecca Rijgaard van Hartswater. Ik vertegenwoordig die Bonita Olives, vrouwens. Onze grond, wat die government ons gegee het, in Pekwani in, het die witman net so gevat. Ons het met onze hande die gaten gegrauw om hy olywe te plant, die bome te plant. Ons het water by die garage aangevra om die bome nat te maak, om die gaten sag te maak. Die vrouwens wat vir ons gemonitor het, die man wat vir ons gemonitor het om die bome te plant, is Ben Visser. Hy het 'n fabriek daar op hy grond. En Castouda Trust het met die geld gewerk. Hier is al die bewyse. Ons weet nie wat het geword nie. Ons het R500 na 'n jaar of 2 jaar het ons R500 'n maand gekry vir 'n jaar. Nou sien ons hierso, as ek julle kan lees na my oë. Hier is baie goede gebetaal en gekoop. Ons het nie 'n kantoor gehad nie, ons het nie toilet gehad nie. Ons het nie faksmasjiene gehad nie, ons het nie phones gehad nie. Ons het onder die boom gesit en ons het bos toe gegaan as ons wil gaan water, toilet wil sien, gaan ons bos toe. Hier staan al die goede, die man wat ons net hy een dag geleer het om die olyfbome te plant, het baie geld gekry. Ons wat die harde arbeid gedoen het. En die government het ons hy grondjie gegee en die bome gegee en die geld. Ons wat dit was eintlik, soos ek nou kan sê, dwangarbeid wat ons gedoen het. Die glas het ons gesny, die dorings het ons moes bos skoonmaak. Die hele bos moes ons skoonmaak om die bome te plant. Vandag is hulle groot. Daai man het van 2017 af, het hy geoes. In Spar in Hartswater was daar Bonita Olives oil. Dit was heel olywe ook gewees wat hulle in die botteltjies verkoop het. Gisteraand sê een beneficiary vir my, hulle het al gelank al het begin oes. Hulle het mense van Riemvasmaak gevat om daar te gaan werk. Die geld, toe vraag om nou, waar kry jy geld? Want ons het nie ons die beneficiaries om vir die mense te betaal. Toe sê hy, nee, die geld wat hulle die goede verkoop het, die olyf dinge se verkoop het, hulle die geld vir die mense betaal. Ek weet nie, die man sê, soek jy ons voete daar nie. En op die stadium het ek 'n rugseer gekry. Want ons moet met die pik werk, met die graf, hark, skoffel alles. En ons moet die gatte grou, met die grou. Het my rugwervels uitgeskuif, ek het operasie gekry in Kimberley. Ek het 'n groot operasie gekry. Ek was 5 ure in die operasie, selfs soos hulle vir my sê. Nou wil ek vra vir die government, om ons te help, om ons grond terug te kry. Wie sal ons help?
Thank you, ma'am.
Good morning. I'm Rebecca Rijgaard, and I represent Bonita Women. We worked together on a farm for a man called Ben Visser, where we had to do intense labor to prepare the land for olive trees to be planted. We literally had to dig holes with our hands and go get water from the garage to actually soften the ground and the soil to be able to get these trees going. I have all the evidence here of how we were underpaid. We were paid about 500 Rand per month for over a year. We hardly had anything to work with. We didn't have an office, we didn't have a fax machine, we didn't have toilets. We literally sat under a tree if we had to take a break. If we wanted to use a toilet, we had to use the bush. This man made so much money from all our hard work. One could actually consider this to be forced labor because of all the work we had to do to prepare the land to be able to plant. In 2017, he harvested, olives were harvested and they were sold in bottles. Workers from Rimfasmark were brought in because they don't want us there anymore. I asked them where they would get money from, and I was informed that it was from olives being bottled and sold. The injustice is so bad. I actually worked so hard that I sustained a back injury. I had to have serious surgery in Kimberley. And to this end, I now want to ask government, how are we going to get our land back? Who's going to help us?
Thank you. First and foremost, I would like to take this opportunity and acknowledge our King Sabao of the Khoisan descent, the royalties and the true owners of the land. And also acknowledge the members of the House, South African Parliament, and also the provincial legislature for this public hearing. We humbly appreciate the Parliament to come into us and hear what is it that we want to say. Yours truly is Kagisho Muchumi. I'm a junior civil guard of honor, South African Parliament 2008 at the State of Nations Address. All protocol observed. We, the people of Pamprestad, hereby declare and endorse the Expropriation Bill. The Constitution, Section 1592 and 153, stipulates the objective of local government and services that need to be provided to the communities. So the service to be rendered are set out in Section 156, Schedule 4 and 5 of the Constitution. We, the community of Pamprestad, declare that we want our land back. We've been displaced. Our forefathers have been displaced for so long. There were forced removals under the apartheid government, 1966. That's where we were displaced at Pamprestad. Our land is Pinel, Congo, Winters Rush, and also the Jan Camp also. So we would like to request the files of our land before maybe going forward. Yes, we need it for our survival and the survival of our future generation. Therefore, we expropriate, finish and clear. We shall walk on our land and live on it. There at Pamprestad, Fall River is instrumental in terms of benefiting the white monopoly capital, whereas we should be living on the river for irrigating our land and also for subsistence fishing. Young people of Pamprestad on the riverside section identify the land, worked the land without any equipment, any irrigation system, tractors, windmill seeds, etc. And also, young people have aspiration of having livestock farming, but the challenge is demarcation. Northern Cape is our province, yes, but then the land there is at Northwest. So the challenge is that the Department of Agriculture cannot fund us because our livestock is at the Northwest provincial borders. We humbly request the provincial legislature to incorporate all the 16 villages of Northwest under the tribal authorities to be in the Northern Cape, as we are the voters of Northern Cape voting district in terms of the IEC.
Thank you. If we may bring it to our people there, they will take it. Time is up now.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Molweni, mna igama lam nguNceba, bail usuka ePamperstad. In Pamperstad we do agree with the bill. Okay. Speaker, we agree with the bill in Pamperstad. We also want to be given an opportunity to farm. We're given an opportunity to go to school so that we can learn the agricultural way of doing things, of dealing with things. Where are we going to practice our skills if we do not have the land? The workers that go to work at those lands, the private owned land, those workers are underpaid. They don't even have a retirement fund to go home and take to their children. They are left with nothing. But if they go to that land to work for what belongs to theirs, it will give them the opportunity to do something for their children. We need to consider the skills that we have learned from the private schools that we were sent by our parents. Give us an opportunity to prove that we belong in South Africa. South Africa belongs to all who live in it. So we all need to benefit in South Africa. I thank you.
Just to give clarity on the name for record purposes, he said his name is Nceba Bail from Pampierstad for record keeping. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. I want to greet every honorable member. I will also want to greet the tribal leaders who are present here, the officials who are present here. I greet you all. My name is Willem Harmse. I'm from Hartswater, the far north of Pokwani. And I am representing our community, the community of Bonita Park, Ward 5 in particular, and we are supporting the bill, the expropriation bill, that needs to be passed very soon by Parliament. The reason why we are in support of this bill is really that expropriation has to happen as soon as possible, because our people for too long has suffered under being just visitors on their own land and on their own property. What happened in Hartswater is that when the apartheid laws or the apartheid rulers came into power that days, they took our people from a very big area in Hartswater and put them in a corner that has been called Noordhoek in that time, where they were put there in a corner and they surround our community with farms, and then also a big portion of the land that lays still today vacant is now owned by Public Works currently. So there is no place or no room for our community to develop or to grow into, because even the place that has been called Rimfastmark, where our community is currently residing on, is even not the property of the municipality. They are illegally squatting on their own property. The other thing is also why I'm saying that we are supporting this is that our people suffered from forceful removals from areas that was called the old Tagatipiliang areas, where our people stayed, the mixed locations in Hartswater where our people stay, the merry ground areas in Jan Kempdorp next to the Border Hotel where our people stay. They were forcefully being removed from those areas and then put in areas that are not so convenient for them. Others were removed to Pampierstad, others were removed Valspad and to Lucia Park, and the others were removed then to Hartswater that has been called Noordhoek. And indeed, they put us in a corner in the furthest part that is of the north, where no development and no growth could happen. And that's why we support this and say, let us make sure that this bill is being passed so that our people can also come back and claim back the areas that has been called Springbok Neck, where our people were also forcefully being removed. The areas being called Greefdale, where our people were forcefully removed, where white people were just putting themselves up there, and they are enjoying till now the prime benefits that comes from the prime land. Thank you very much.
Dumelang. Leina la me ke Supa Selemogo. Ke tswa mo Batley West, mo dikgatlhong local municipality. Sa ntlha le nna ke batla gore re le baagi ba dikgatlhong ba Batley West ra dumelatsana ka Expropriation Bill. Lebaka legolo e le gore re le bantsi re bana ba re tsaletsweng go dipolaseng, re goletse mo dipolaseng, ka jalo nako ya rona e ntsi ya go tshameka le ya go gola, re ne re ithuta ka temothuo, re ne re ithuta ka go lema. So lebaka legolo la gore re dumelatsana ka Expropriation Bill ke gore le rona re le baagi re le bašwa ba Batley West re batla go tsaya karolo mo ikonoming ya rona ya Afrika Borwa. Ka jalo ra itse gore government ya rona e bua ka food security. So ka gonne lebaka legolo re goletse mo polaseng, ra itse gore ha go bua ka farming go bua ka eng. So re le baagi ba mo especially ko polaseng ya ko Romance, we are very much ready gore re tse karolo mo ikonoming ya rona. Ka jalo ke re shapela matsogo Expropriation Bill. Ke a leboga.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Supa Selemogo, and I'm one of the citizens who resides in Dikgatlong. And actually, I'm a citizen from Batley West. And as people from Batley West, we support the bill. And we've got a few different reasons why we do so. And one of the main reasons is that we actually grew up in the farms ourselves. As young people, we actually even played right there in the farms. Anything that we studied we studied agriculture. We learned how to till the land. So as young people then from Batley West, we really want this to happen, and actually we are so prepared and ready to take part and some role in economy and in growing economy itself. So I would like to say that we are very, very happy for this opportunity, and we applaud you, members, our honorable members from the government, that you bring around this bill. So that is our submission.
Dumelang, ke na le Tlhogonolo Phetlhane. I'm a founder of Morule Africa Farming Enterprise and one of the young people in the province who are practicing agriculture. The reason why I'm supporting this bill, ke le Tlhogonolo Phetlhane, ke gore ke molemi potlana dingwaga di le 13 years. Since the inception ya democracy mo country ya rona re le balemi re le batho ba bantsho re deprivile opportunity ya go occupy mahatsi ke lemile ha thoko ga noka mo mbung wa masipala in a communal land mbu ibile lefelo le le sa reserviwang for farming really balemi potlana go practice the proper agricultural practice ke gore ga re khone go itlhelela le baka le golo ke gore ga rena lehatsi le occupyilwe gantsi ke di communal property association le borakgwebo ba ba shweu ba ba limang ke supporta bill because of I've been emerging for 13 years ka go tlhoka lehatshe. Re dula mo lefelong le leng goreng re motivatwa ke borakgwebo ba basweu, batho ba tshwana le Boloi Dikoko go tswa mo Vildetlavore, yo Malu, yo Creek, yo Matano, ba re motivate hela bokgakaleng le rona. Mare because of government ya rona, e tlhoka gore nela lehatshe re le balemi potlana, e tlhoka gore nela dithuso tse di maleba tse re di tlhokang, go lwantsha botlhoka tiro, go lwantsha go le go thibela tlala. Ke gore rona re le batho ba bantsho re tlhoka lehatshe, gantsi re le batho ba bantsho ga re tlhoke lehatshe gore le expropriatiwe just cause tshwanetse le expropriatiwe. A lehatshe le expropriatiwe ka knowledge, ba re tlhabe botlhale gore kgone go dirisa lehatshe maleba. Ke le molemi potlana mo provinceng, gantsi bontsi ba rona re le bašwa, go na thata go itlhelela gore re ne le ditumalatsano le dikolagano le lefapha go itlhelela tiriso e e siameng ya lehatshe le go nela lehatshe. Re support-a bill re le bašwa mo provinceng gore re ka itumela ha go ka speediwa up process. Re batla gore process e ne transparent, re itse gore ha go expropriate lehatshe, the land audit ya state, lehatshe lewa ke le fela go expropriatiwang ebile la go itlhelela bo mang ka dingwaga di le kae, because mo re dulang teng rona re nilwe di-permission hela because of ke mo communal landeng, ga gona the grazing land, ga gona metsi, ga gona infrastructure, ga gona sepe, ga gona assets, ga gona sepe se se ka rileang mo go sone. Ke a leboga.
Good morning. My name is Letlogonolo Petlane. I'm one of the people who want to express from the heart that we indeed support the bill. Yes, because we need land, nothing else. So we grew up as well as people who have lived in the land, in the farms for a very, very long time. And especially as black people, this is a big need among ourselves because we know that it will assist us in so many ways. So right now we are struggling with unemployment. We are struggling with many different needs. We're struggling with hunger, which basically we are talking about food security, which is the biggest problem among us. So if blacks can have the privilege of having land being given to them as it is a big need, then they will be able to actually accomplish and come to the, have their needs actually supported. So now what happens is that when the land is being expropriated or when we are being given a land, either way, so we don't just have to own the land, but we need some education and some training as to how can we use this particular land so that we can be able to produce in it. So there is no point in receiving or being given land and not knowing really how to use it, especially as young people. We need that. We support the bill. We are very happy we supported this process of the government of land expropriation, because there are so many other problems that are too many to number. In some places, in some of the lands, there is no water. We're struggling with this particular commodity, and there is no enough infrastructure. The land basically has to be worked on, and it has to be in a state where it can be usable. So wholeheartedly then we support this, and we are happy for this beautiful process that the government is undertaking.
Dumelang bagolo. Ke nna Thabang Lenoge. I am just an ordinary member of the public residing here in Kimberley. I have a serious concern with the land expropriation bill. If it is going to take place, I am in favor of it firstly. And then secondly, I'm saying I have a serious concern regarding it because the moment the land is given back to our people must not be left to their devices. Some of the farms are in tatters that have been taken for compensation because our people have not received the necessary support. That thing is making us look like a joke to white people. And then white people also, my message to them is we don't hate them, but this is a process that must unfold. We need our land back. This is our land. This land, the people that should be discussing the issue of the land are the Khoisan people and the African people here. So please do not try to come and confuse us with your narrative of history. That this land, you didn't take it from us, you took it from the Khoisan. We all know how land can improve the quality of life for every single individual. I mean, we see their kids, the way they are living in a good way. Whereas our kids, we are just fighting for access to university. We need more than just access to university. So I support the ruling party in their desire to finalize the issue of the land expropriation bill. People expropriation is something that must happen, and we support it. I have a serious problem as a Kimberley resident. We have a mine here, the big hole. Please, as members of parliament, before you go home, I am asking and I'm appealing to you, go and pay that fee and check what has been done to Kimberley. Kimberley is a dead city. It does not exist anymore. Crime is the order of the day because young people have got nothing to do. Right across the street here, you will see there's a place there, we used to call it Color Block. Young people used to flock there because all they can do is drink and nothing else. So in short, the other thing that must happen is the issue of land, when it is given back like that, which is in possession of the government, please give it to government people who can afford to buy land. Just give them service land. We are not asking for houses. Just give us mbu so that we can build for yourself there without, causing additional stress on the municipality to provide things like to build for us houses when we can afford at least to buy our own houses. But land is so expensive, it's not funny really. That is all I want to say to the people from Parliament. Thank you very much.
Dumelang. Leina la ka ke Lebogang Tlhole. Ke meha mo tlase ga boemo jwa magareng ke tswa ko Warrenton. Warrenton. Ke ema ke re ke supporte bill ya expropriation e le re tliseditseng gompieno. Bagolo jaaka basha ba ko magareng. Ba ba itseng magareng ba itse gore ga rena di industrial sites, ga rena di agricultural sites. Bothata ke gore ga rena mbu ko magareng. Ha o sheba ko magareng o ya ko municipality wa teng o checka gore goreng re sena mbu. One person owner about 60% ya mbu wa magareng. A white man. So there was a time province itse ere go tle go nna le an agri park go khona go tsholetsa economy ya ko magareng. I think it only failed because of basa khone go ka kriya mbu go ha kae, because of the person who owning it's a tycoon elong gore ke na owner mbutle. So re supporta gore jaaka boagi jwa magareng a re shebeng pele gore ke bomang ba ba intsi mo lehatsheng le re nnang mo go lona, and then re newe mbu o re sa o kopeng ke wa rona jaaka bantu. Ke a leboga.
Okay, let me have a look at the name. So my name is Lebogang Tlhole. So I stand here to announce that I support the bill as one of the young people from the place called Magareng. So we supported the bill, and most of us have actually done some industrial science in Magareng. So as you can see that it has got to do with the land, and we want to learn some things. But then the problem that we have in Magareng is that it is not the biggest land, but now we've got one person who owns about 60% of the entire land in Magareng. So this is a problem. For an example, sometime in the past, the province made a promise that they wanted to better the economy in Magareng. Now they were not able to do that, and it's simply because of the problem we have. And what is the problem? The problem is that they could not find a suitable place and a land where they could actually do this. Now that is the biggest problem. So now before then, as you continue in your process of land expropriation, now we would like you as the honorable members to first look in Magareng as to who among the residents there owns the biggest piece of land, then do something about it so that in Magareng we can then be able to have somebody or a way of bettering the economy, because they need to locate some land so that this process can be exercised in it. Thank you very much. So our stand is we support the bill.
Kokomangin Bamba Dangi Gege Hemak Una Chimbu Golai Ngiak Tankunya Naushin Kwang Majoy. You was saying Kama Kashi Jobege Chiakwang. She gave to Naguema Makman Yange Kajala. Playa Joasha Tekakula Tampuita Bunani, Joa Ama, Koron de Beteke Hanyang. Habe Jutuak Gaya, Kunaga, and Kate Galaya, Joa Ama Gichi Joya, Moju Indagachiga and the Eguna o Habeju Habeju, Panina by he get Kigua Jungole, the Habeju, he Habe. Haktaju Kingole, the Habeju, Kage, Joa Koleakoa. Hachige Hemea. Hachige Jew, Gwe Kong, Chick Haktua Shinkaju Chikwa, the Joa Tu, Habeju, Toshi, Chike Hechik Hageshik, Unka Toshi, the Jukula Toshi, Ogang Set Africa. Jukwe Gava Set Africa, Set Africa, Toka Reju. The Jukula South Africa, Chuan, the Jutani Gag Ogun, which is a good match with the chicken account to try to the Jua 2, who have a June Gava South Africa, she quite hit you, when you tell you have a gun, he got a South Africa, have a June Unga Toshi, the Jua Tanira Tisha government, who have a government that Taju Kage Hejua, have a June Unju David that you unju tell this that you unju Kolotiri. Ya heju pale ju longesha ju debe ke ko ehe hiya longesha ju chike hakuli machita ju onju tradisi sia da kan ju atisha government government shinchi kandwa heju nge khabe ju huntamiati da ju kha chi khoi ehe shinchi de ke una ko ang da ju ha kakao dai heju nge ju kakao dangi.
Good morning. My name is Vasco Cernau, and I'm from the Kong community. I thank you, all the members who present here. And the thing that I want to say is, and what I'm going to say is, I support this bill, even if we think there is not, that people know us and they have taken our land away from us. They must give us our land back. We as the Kong people and the first people who have been in this land. And we also want to be part of this South African as the citizen. As we are known, and also our language must be known by the government and put it also in the bill. We ask the government to give the land to us also so that we can also use it. We have our culture and we want to learn it for our children so that they can know our tradition and it must not be go away. And where I know we are the first people who have been on this land and who have been chased away from this land. So the government must see and also give the land back to us so that we can do anything that we want with the land. I thank you.
Ke a leboga. Leina la ka ke Thebetsile Matokonyane, ke tswa ko Jan Kempdorp under municipality wa Phokwane. Pele ga ke simolola ke ne batla go leboga mokgatlho o bidiwang ba re ke EFF because of re bone the way bana ba lwana ka teng ko parlamenteng ba ntshiwa ka dikgoka ba itlebe ba ba chargiwa gore this bill e diragale mo bathong ba bantsho. So ke tswang teng re supporta this bill ya expropriation of land without compensation because of history ya rona e re ruta gore lehatshe le tshotshwe mo bathong ba rona through genocide. So re supporta this bill because of batho ba rona ga bana lehatshe, particularly mo ke tswang teng ko Jan Kempe go na le motse o ba o bitsang ba re ke Proof Plus. Motse wa ke motse wa agriculture. So batho ba ko motseng wa ga bana di title deeds, and then bontsi jwa bone ha ba re ba ya go farma lehatshe le la around ba re ke la agriculture. Ha ba ya ko agriculture, one of the farmers, young farmers, ba ko agriculture respond ya bone towards bone ba re lehatshe le ke la research. But re dutse kwa 10 to 15 years lehatshe le sa dirisiwi, le sa plantiwi, le sa dirisiwi. So re supporta this bill ya expropriation of land without compensation, and re supporta idea e go teng e ba reng state se own lehatshe for the benefit of all, black and white. Ke a leboga.
So good morning, my name is Tebe Itzile Matokonyane. I am from Jan Kempdorp, which is a place obviously here in Northern Cape. So I would like to start first of all by saying my thanks to members of the Portfolio Committee. And let me just state that I want to also thank one of our organizations or a party in our country, which is EFF. We have seen how they have sometimes been chased out of parliament and the way they have been treated, etc., etc. And obviously this is because they support economy. Okay, upon over and above thanking them, we support the bill, people from Jan Kempdorp. And this is simply because of the reason that history has taught us that land has been expropriated from our forefathers in Jan Kempdorp, and this has been a problem for a very long time. Now, Jan Kempdorp is an agricultural area, so one definitely needs land, but the only biggest problem there is that people do not have title deeds. So, and that actually exacerbated the problem of having lands. And sometimes when they try to put to use some parts of the farms that are actually totally not in use, they are told not to. And these people who try to do this are some of the emerging farmers. They are told not to use it, but you would find that all along, such lands have been standing not in use for some 13 years or more. So this is a problem. So now what we need to do is that we welcome the idea that there will be such a thing called state-owned lands, because now there's going to be a balance when land is being given to those deserving it, and this will be for the benefit of all. So thank you very much. We support the bill.
Thank you to all the speakers. We are noting your presentation, and we are also recording everything that you are speaking. The camera here is the camera from the parliament. So everything we are speaking, we are taking it. Can we get hands from the side? We come to these chairs.
Baie dankie vir almal se voorleggings. Wil graag vra dat die mense aan daardie kant van die saal hulle hande opsteek as hulle wil praat. Beweeg dan ook asseblief na die middel toe.
also allow those that are outside to come in. They must come in quietly.
Ons vra asseblief die mense wat van buite af inkom om saggies in te kom.
Do we have a space there?
Is daar nog plek?
Okay, then we start. Please also assist me with mic.
Naka dangi ki speaker nga vergadering jowana ko. Ta mi yeste kan ko na ko kan ta na ko kan ci ko ci ko asung ka ci kana ko ko. Marana tu nabe uven tradisi hamiwa ta kanasung kaka panamanang mga be uveni mi tradisi kakolami. Marasang mga kami ke kaka kasteki mga nyeke meter ta nyeke meter nakwawan ako nang mga long sa dawa. Kami tradisi. Tanatu kaka ampar kawa 500 hektar. Ina uat akam kau samdri uat diwi achi nang hichi kana ulong isak kami dawa. Nakwang kita kong kwang bok kausi katwa kang natuo. O gang akai pane mosung ta musing ngai ta South Africa wa khong aiwa ta derde ga kana beiseti wa nasun ta roste kene ko gang South Africa ta ka khamuchi ta ka khong ye ka ga ge South Africa sing ke khoshu ai I thonsu ke gar kai thomesung wa diwi achi ichi sung ngayon ko jutong sa kaya ko kaya coba kang juk akwati sa o sempana mo sung ngai juk ngawasung kawa juche kawa perramende o kwa ngaya ko kang South Africa o kam tanazo ke kwing ka na wana teti akang di ke wetang ang khoma Kaba kai ke khwa kai konkwasi ke khwa ke koreng kanene kai gaji sungkan ngai ta ko ju kaba kana tiwi akwa sung ke plasi kanene ka plus ajua ke kau du ke ganga ta sa kang ta ko panga kai ka se ju je panga kai ta tu kom sa ju dewe wan do ta ko la ke kanene ke ka dam khapsi ajua ke kau to dia manda jua kau tua, tapi kalau kan jua tu juga aku yang opang kai, omek kai nak kan, kita kau fasin doa.
Good afternoon. My name is Festus Yana. I thank all the people who represent here and also the member who are attending here from Parliament. I want my tradition back and my culture. I also want our lands back because where I'm standing, they only give me 9 meters of a land to teach my children our culture, which is not fair. I want a 500 hectare land so that I have a place where I can teach my children our culture and our tradition. So all this South Africa belongs to all of us. And we, as the Kong people, we are also the first nation in this country called South Africa. I ask Parliament to see and also recognize our leaders so that some of us must also be in Parliament to represent our nation, which is the Khoisan and also the Kong people. Here at the back of, we stay outside Kimberley, it's not far from here. There is a farm called Platfontein where we are. There is a lake there. The water, it is a wastewater. We have damaged that land. And our diamonds who are there, we don't know how will we be looking at it and beware it, because the lake there is full of it. And there is no way, and also that road there is also almost damaged if you pass there and go to Buckley West. So that farm platform didn't belong to us, and that lake have almost damaged that farm. The diamond there and the herbs there is not to be usable if that lake there, because it's also damaged there. I thank the opportunity and the time that given to me to talk to the members of Parliament. I thank you.
Goeiemiddag allemaal. Erkenning aan ons stamhoof hier, as ook lede van die parlement, portfolio komitee wat vanmorgen hier is, en allemaal hier teenwoordig. My naam is Johnny Skalkweg. Ek is afkomstig van Richie, ek woon in Rietwel daar. Nou waar ek woon is ons uit 1969 verskuif van 'n grond af tot daar langs die rivier. En vanaf daai tyd wat ons verskuif is, lê hy grond oop en hy word nie gebruik nie. Die rede van die verskuiving was om 'n buffer tussen die bruin gemeenskap en die wit gemeenskap te plaas. En dis waarom my grond nou nog oop lê. Ons het grond in Richie, dis waarom ek die onteieningswet 23 van 2020 heel hartig ondersteun. Ons het grond in Richie wat oop lê en wat nie gebruik word nie. En ons wil boer, ons wil ontwikkel, maar ons het nie grond om dit te doen nie. 'n Vorige spreker het al reeds hier genoem dat ons moet kerke in die agterjaar hou, maar daar is grond. As ons mense begin plak, word hulle gesê hulle plak op onwettige grond. Maar wie se grond is dit dan? Daar lê stadsgrond, wat huidiglik nou in ontwikkeling is. Wie het vir hy man die grond gegee? Die vorige een, althans die man wat nou ontwikkel se pa, het ander grond ontwikkel waar hy grafte geskend het. Langs sy stoor lê nou nog grafstene van ons mense, van swart mense. En daar rondom Richie Modderrivier is grafte van ou soldate wat toegespan is, maar ons grafte is geskend. Selfs daar waar hy fabriek is, JL Klak, daar's grafte daar. Gaan kyk hoe lyk die grafte. Mense kan nie daar kom nie, want die grond behoort aan iemand. Nou as daar grafte is, wie se grond was, wie was die eerste bewoner daar? Ek ondersteun hierdie wetsontwerp heel hartig, en ek wil tog graag vra, as die regering hierdie wetsontwerp in werking stel, laat hulle gaan kyk, dat die mense wat grond gaan bekom, geondersteun word, sodat daar ontwikkeling op hierdie gronde plaasvind, en nie dit grond kry en dan terugstaan nie, want dan gaan die grond vervalle raak, soos wat die grond nou reeds huidiglik vervalle is, dan Richie. Laaste maar nie die minste nie, daar is 'n skool daar, ons kort 'n ambulans, baie van ons mense sterf op pad vanaf Richie Kimberley toe, as gevolg van die gebrek aan 'n ambulans en 'n hospitaal. Ons kan hy skool ontwerp in 'n hospitaal, maar hy skool kan nie ontwerp word nie, want dit is 'n politieke speelbal nou. Daar's mense van die buiteland wat nou beheer oor die skool het. Nou waar val ons dan? Iemand wat van die buiteland afkom, ek het geen probleem met mense nie, maar jy kan nie van die buiteland afkom in 'n skool in ons gebied kom oorvat en ek het plek vir hy skool. Daai skool het 'n grond ook aan die ander kant. Baie dankie.
Thank you.
Good day, everyone. I'm Johnny van Skalkwyk, and I'd like to acknowledge the presence here of the Chief, of the public, of the Portfolio Committee. Now, I come here to support this bill, and I want to talk about 1969, when there was ground, there was land next to the river, and if you look at it, since then it has been open. It's not been used. And I've asked why this is. And it turns out that land was established to be open, to be a buffer between the white people and the brown people of the time. So I completely support this bill because there's land in Ritchie that's completely unused. And we want this land to develop, to improve. We want it to change into farms. As a previous speaker mentioned, we're having church services in backyards, and we're being told we're squatting illegally on land. But whose land is it? Look around on those lands. There are gravestones. There are our gravestones that are damaged. Yes, there are soldiers' gravestones too, and they're protected, they're fenced in, they're maintained, but ours are being damaged. And we can't go look there. We can't go pay our respects because we're not allowed on the property. And I ask you this, if there are graves there, and there are graves, then whose land is it? So I support this bill. I support it in order to develop this empty land into farms. But please, don't tarry with us. Don't take the land and let it languish. Give it over immediately so that what is there does not decay, that it doesn't go into disrepair. Oh, and then one last other thought. We have a need for ambulance and hospital services. There is a school which can be converted into a hospital, but we can't. Because that school is controlled by foreigners. Now, I don't have a problem with foreigners, but I do have a problem with them controlling a school that could be purposed for something much better. Thank you.
Goeiemiddag. Ek is Constance Ngeza. Ek groet almal wat vandag gekom het. Ek is dankbaar bly. Constance Ngeza. Ek is dankbaar bly vir almal wat vandag gekom het. Ek stem saam. Ek stem 100% saam met die support van die Constitution in terms of Expropriation Bill. My probleem dat my pa van 1957 het hy op proefplaas gebly. En my pa het vir 37 jaar by die plaas gewerk. Maar hy plaas was soos 'n government plek. En my pa, nadat hy oud geword het, siek geword het, moes hy afklim van die plaas af en toe het hy gesê hy moet 'n plek gaan soek. So het my pa verreis na Ritchie toe. Dit is so 10 kilos van proefplaas af. So op die oomblik, ons het daar gebly, my pa daar gebly, ons het daar groot geword, ek is daar gebore, 13 kinders is daar gebore, en ons moes net so gaan na Ritchie toe, sonder niks. Maar op die oomblik is die selfde plaas nou oorgegee aan swart mense wat boer op die plaas. Maar mijn verlangen is, ons wat daar geboren het, ons het daar geblei, ons het niks verdien nie. So ek vra van die parlement af, net om ook in te zien daar, dat daar plekken is, daar is plek van plaats wat ons ook kan zelf van die mensen waar daar gebleid het, gaan boer daar, van ons is daar groot geraakt en ons weet wat is boerderij. So kyk julle asseblief aan daar die plek van ons daar in proefplaats. Dat is my honestly, en daar is kinders ook van ouers wat daar gesterwe het. Mama's, papa's is daar oorlede en kinders moes net uitgaan. Hulle het nie weer bly plekke nie, maar vandaag is die plek, hy staan daar, ander mense bly nou in daar die huise. So ek vra net dat dit moet gekyk word oor die saak. Baie dankie.
Good morning, good afternoon. I'm Constance Nkeza, and I'm happy for this opportunity to be here. And I would like to state that I support this bill and the constitution that goes along with it. You see, my situation is as such. We had a property, or there was a property that my father worked and stayed on in 1957. And he worked on this farm for 37 years. Now, after he has aged to a point where he cannot work anymore, he has been sent to go look for another place to stay. This was a farm called Proefplaas, and we moved to Ritchie, which is about 10 kilometers from there. 13 children were born on this farm, and they had nothing to go to. They had nothing to work with. This farm was given to black farmers, and really my wish is that those of us who were born on this farm, who lived on this farm, we had nothing but to have it restored back to the people who inhabited it. Now, many families lived on this farm in this area, and now other people are occupying it. So I would really like to ask government to look at this matter and assist us to get those who originated from this area to be restored with the land. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Mvuleni Joseph Mguye, representing the community of Ritchie. I'll not make my presentation long because I've got written submissions from the community of Ritchie. But in short, as the community of Ritchie and the ANC of Patrick Skeepers branch, we support wholeheartedly the Expropriation Bill 2020. We want to go back and reiterate our resolution of the African National Congress in its 54th National Conference. I quote, expropriation of land without compensation should be amongst the key mechanism available to government to give effect to land reform and redistribution. That's a resolution of the African National Congress in its conference. So as the people of Ritchie and a branch of Patrick Skeepers of the ANC, we are saying, we know that this expropriation is going to bring back the dignity of the majority of black people in this country. So we are saying we fully support wholeheartedly, and this process is long overdue. We ask this committee, please, you are long overdue to make sure that this bill come to effect. So I submit today these written submissions from the community of Ritchie. I thank you.
My name is Mo Eti Mamapula. I support the land expropriation with null compensation. I think it needs to address the variety of aspects or the challenge that we are encountering on a daily basis in terms of the land redistribution. So the most important thing for the land to be expropriated, we have a situation whereby youth is unemployed, whereby the economy is dented and in a dire state of situation. So I think the land should be the one seeking to address employment in youth, where youth can to work the land through cooperatives, and we cannot have a situation living like refugees in our own land, where we have people benefiting from the land that we should have been benefited from the land. So we don't benefit anything from the land. However, we can still have the chance to expropriate the land, and I just think that this should not be a formality from the government, as we know that how the government operates, they formalize things just to see things working like formalizing everything, so that things are not working like on the underground. So please help us expropriate the land and to work the land, and then please, we should ensure that human settlement is also something that should be taken care of. We cannot have a situation whereby our people are living like in shacks and they don't know where to go, but we are having our own land on our hands. So please, people, thank you.
Good afternoon, Honorable Minister, Honorable MEC, Honorable Chairperson, as well as your committee, the respective media platforms that are here in our midst. Let me pay homage to His Majesty of the Khoi San and Khoi people, you beautiful sons and daughters of the sun. My name is Khaliletsang Teleleng Sol. I am a resident at an informal settlement called Rhythm City. I'm also the Secretary of the Executive Committee of the Good Party under the Honorable Minister, Ms. Patricia de Lille. Dear Parliament, since we last spoke last year, a whole lot hasn't changed. We, the community of Rhythm City, are still anticipating the day where we are the rightful owners of the land that we are now occupying. As I previously gave an outline at our last meeting, please follow the Parliament's page on YouTube to get the full insight. The land that we are on is owned by a club of elite, powerful group of intellectuals, and with I went to school with some of these intellectuals' children. I always wondered why, as a young child, that my schoolmates' yards and houses are bigger than ours. My request and way forward is that the land that we are on, which has been vacant for over 30 years, now is, Soplaiki has dismissed interactions with us because that land, seemingly they've got fears of engaging the current landowners. I'm disappointed by this municipality, and that says that it doesn't care much about its people. But anyway, leaders, we cannot still be on a system that waits 10 to 20 years before we have land and properties as well as businesses. It's a shame that budgets are being squandered year in and year out, letting our own people down. If it pleases the House, we have a plan. We also have blueprints to secure the land for our generations to come. We would like to partner up with a very few caring government people, officials, the owners of the land, as well as potential investors. Can we win this battle? Yes, but we need courage. It takes courage to change the way things are done. It also takes courage to lead. It takes courage to be successful. The question is, who will pick up the courage to fight for what is right? There was an old king who lived long ago, long before time was time. His people used to come to him with the same problem over and over again. The one day the king told a joke. The first time it was funny. The whole subjects laughed. The second time he told the same joke and a few people laughed. The third time he told a joke and nobody laughed. The king said to his people, My people, why do you come to me every time with the same problem over and over again? Thank you.
Good day to the House at large. My name is Thabiso Tlhalepe. I stand here as a registered South African Geomatics Council member. Knowledge is key, we all know that. I think our communities have been deprived the issue of land for quite some time. And this has been forecasted to many yesteryears. When it comes to tribal land and communal land, only here in Kimberley, we're looking at a land mass of about 37 million hectares. It still disturbs me that the government hasn't gotten around issues of how people like the Coos and whoever were stripped of their land. Our government still wants to dictate as to how much they use their land. Them being the forefathers of this province, can government at least give them a lending hand solely in registering properties that belong to them? I'll bring it down to Kimberley. We all know historically that Kimberley is an unplanned township. So when it comes to issues of who deserves what or who must get what, we would like to assist government in doing that. As the latter speaker has said, people have blueprints as to what the plan is, what they would like to do with the land. Our plea to you as the government is that as we go forward now, we have the knowledge. Can there be a stake in us, the youth, in terms of redistributing all this land? The redistribution of land is only focusing on leased land for the minority. We are being set aside once more with small residential plots where we cannot even do small-scale in-house farming. If we are to say that agriculture and industrialization of today's land should be for the youth, then I think the latter speaker has already said that. I fully agree with the expropriation of land without redistribution. But now we as the youth of South Africa, we have plans. We've got the knowledge. When it comes to town planning and land surveying, I stand here as one of the directors of one of the only black firms that's registered under the geomatics and landscaping in Kimberley. I stand to be corrected. It might also be in the whole of Northern Cape. There's only about 5 of us who do land surveying here, and I speak as one of a registered land surveyor, one of the registered ones. So our plea to government is that the youth has already spoken. Mahareng, Richie, go up to Pampierstad. The people are ready to start working. So we as a registered land surveying company, we would like to help the youth already. We vouch our support to them. We only look up to the government to say that here's our helping hand, the infrastructure and the funding. Not that we are laying it on your hands, it is there for us to use. We as the youth are ready to start working. Just to fast track the issue of land redistribution.
Your time is up.
Okay.
If you had anything written, you may give it to.
I thank you.
Groet aan allemaal, ek is Pieter Abraham Brand. Gebore op Bakanaplas 1977. Ons bly vandag daar op die plaas as inkommers. Onze ouers het jare daar gebly, jare daar gewerk. Daar het ons self vandag 'n groot graveyard dat ons vandag eens kan gaan skoonmaak nie, want ons word beskou as inkommers. Self die ambulance kan nie daar inkom nie, die mobile kliniek wat voorheen daar gery het, kan nie vandag inkom nie. Die skoolbus vir die kinders aanry, maar die kinders daar by die pad aflei wat gevaar is vir die kinders se lewens. So wil ek aan julle vra dan as daar help is, staan julle ons by, dat die probleem opgelos kan word. Ons het afgesny van water af vir 'n lang tyd. Ons het hulp gevra oral waar ons kan vir water, ons moet 10-15 kilos loop om water te skep. En die ou wat die eienaar wat die plaas nou het, sê dat daar nie water is nie, maar ek myself het ook daar gewerk op die plaas wat ek uit die skool uitkom. Klaar gemaak het met die skool. Ek weet self dat hoeveel boorgate op die plaas is. Is meer as 1 boorgat self op die plaas. So gaan ons maar aan, ons struggle, ons sukkel baie. Ons moet by ander mense gaan hout vra om vuur te maak, want ons kook nog self met vuur. Ons word afgekeer van die houtvelde af. So ons lewe gaan bietjie sleg. Asseblief kan iemand inkom en help in die storie. As daar 'n oplossing is. Dankie.
Good day. My name is Peter Brandt, and in 1977, I was born on a farm where we used to live, and today we are regarded as intruders. In fact, there's a graveyard there that we can't go to pay our respects because we're intruders. There's an ambulance that if something goes wrong, can't go there because it's not public. There's a school bus that has to drop children off quite far away from school, which is a significant danger to their lives. So we're asking here, please help us. You know, there was a time that we don't have water, and we had to walk kilometers for water. We asked the farmer for some water, for help, and he says there is none. But I worked there. I know how many boreholes there are. You know, we've even asked for wood, you see, because we still cook with fire, because that's all we have at the moment. And we've even been turned away there. Our lives are really bad. Please help us.
Good day. My name is Godfrey Soul. I'm the current spokesperson for a community known as Rhythm City. It's an informal settlement here in Kimberley. I was born, raised in Kimberley. I left in 2006 to join the SA Navy, of which after 10 years I resigned and came back home to settle here. The municipality of Solplaiki owns only roughly 6% of the land in Solplaiki. The rest of the land is privately owned, either by certain entities or groups, or by certain individuals. The land in question, Rhythm City, I started playing soccer on that land because there were 2 soccer fields. I started playing soccer on that land when I was 9 years old. I am now 37 years old. That land has been vacant ever since I can remember. However, now that the community has taken it upon themselves to invade the land, now there are landowners coming forward. Some of these people are politically influential people. Some of these people are advocates. Some of these people are judges. However, the land had been vacant for more than 30 to 40 years, with nothing being done on the land, no development whatsoever on the land. Our people are in dire need of land. A man without land is a poor man. And I see every day, because I live in that community, I see the poverty that is caused by the fact that our people don't have land. The land in question is so fertile that anything that you plant on that land will grow. I myself have grown a vegetable garden which I can eat from, because I don't work, I'm unemployed, which is the case with most of the people of the residents of that settlement. Now, if I can sustain myself and my family through farming on a piece of land and being able to eat from the vegetables of the land, then so can the rest of my community. However, the land is owned by a club called the Lions Club. And
Your time is up.
thank you.
Thank you.
Good day, members of Parliament. My name is Calvin Johnson. I am a representative of the Democratic Alliance. I am opposing this expropriation without compensation. The register of members of interest for the politicians in Parliament shows that a lot of people own a lot of properties, including shares. Cyril Ramaphosa has shares in game farming and cattle farming. Praveen Gordhan has shares in every company, from Tiger Brands to Steinhoff to Mr. Price. My question is then, are you also going to take away these properties from the politicians too? Or are you only going to take the property that belongs to the ordinary people? I thank you.
We are now going to take the vote. Any hands?
Die volgendes wat wil praat asseblief, enige hande?
There are also these hands on this side.
Daar's ook aan hierdie kant hande.
Are we fine up there? We have the required 10. This is the last round. You won't take any other hands after this one. Okay, thank you. A reminder, you only have 3 minutes. You can speak in any of the 11 official languages, including Nama, Kru, I don't know whether I'm saying it correctly, but any of the languages, we have interpreters here. And even the sign language, we do have people that can interpret if there's someone who would like to speak in sign language. Okay.
Njakal kakala nehe asinga kwe asakwe. Jugesa lisiko ya hengia kakoke seti Africa yang. Daju akun juga ngalisiko kwa juke kama. Dari siko kaya kuku ke kakala nega kole. Daju kaka sakwe. Da kwa hen juga Ake kha Jo keke ke kamaka stati tan ngai tin ke ho se ti kau ta ke tin jo yo sha ju keke ya ta tin ke I chu kawang te wang gola ta mu ko angola ngai ta no ke ho shen ju ta ju de te tia o meha mu kama meha ke tiang simi sin telefon ta mu ko kama simi sin telefon ke ka platform den ta platform den ni kakang tuang government ke kanju ta government ke kanju ke platform den ni ka ta ju mo ni ke kanju ayam hari ta ga ikan ngade ka ka te pa khenju kula te man ju kha akhan kan huna ta khu wa kulima ulukan kha kulimanga ka hantenenge ta je kha ka on ha ke jo I ko sin ngai ju ta ke ju akan aka ko uluka wa kha kulimanga tenenge ta je khanjo he ko I ka Disi kwa la ya kya khong kao ma kwa yin ke kholi si kwa kya kya la da khong ke kula da ka anjuan hai te ke sin ju ka disi kwa la yo o ho ko ka lu ju tuan ju ka ha che chen khawan uli kawa ju ke kya ai ju ka dan ju ai tro me ju ndi bi ta ke tian ju ka da kwa ya koi ka iko ka koi ka kan lu ju aga ko da min musila
Good afternoon. My name is Teresa Magumbu, and I am a resident of Kimberley outside in Platfontein, and I am a Kong. I want to thank the members who represent here from Parliament and the audience here. We, as the Kong people, didn't know about the law. And today we're hearing it and learning it. We was the first people who were in South Africa. And our forefathers was also here. And then they were chased away. And then they go to Cape Town, and from there to Cape Town, back in Angola, where we used to be left in. And then from Angola, the war have started again, and we were also chased away, and then we are back in South Africa. And we were in South Africa in a small town called Smesdrev, and from there we moved from Smesdrev to this place called Platfontein, just outside Kimberley, where we are staying. The government didn't give us this land. The land was bought from us. We as the Kong doesn't see it as the government have given this land to us. White people and black people must also recognize us as if we are the first people who were in this land. So what the law that you are going to do, you must also include us in this law. And even this appropriation of the land without compensation, I fully agree with it. And we also want our land back, and we want our land to be given to us. I thank you.
Good afternoon, all protocol observed. My name is Tselani Plaikis. I'm speaking on behalf of my father, Mr. Jeffrey Plaikis. My father, Tselani Ndapula, his brothers and sisters were relocated from Batlaros in Kuruman to Kimberley in the early 1920s. Under the Old Land Act, they were stripped of their farms as well as animals. I'm a member of the Jordan Western Communal Farm, situated outside Kimberley. We do not have ownership of the land where we are hosting our livestock in conducting small subsistence farming. We support the speedy processing of the Land Expropriation Bill. When land is expropriated, due to the experience we have in farming and land management, we and our children believe we should be first to become beneficiaries, as we will be productive to the South Africa. However, we caution against corruption that is prevalent within the country during in the rollout. I thank you.
Good day, protocol observed. My name is Vuyo from Pampirstal, from the Pokwane sub-region. As it has been said by those who came before me, we fully support the bill. But added to that, Chairperson, in your panel, you would really want the panel to make it a point that as people expropriate land, it must become mandatory that when people are be given back their land, those people must be skilled. They must be trained as to how to work those lands, because it's going to be useless if people are going to be given land, then the next best thing, they don't have the know-how or the knowledge as to go about working those lands. We are therefore going to become a laughing stock to those who actually kept the land before, who now had to give it over to the rightful owners. And we furthermore wish to make a request that says, in the event it is mandatory, those who don't therefore comply must be severely punished for not complying with the law. I thank you.
Goedemiddag, ek is Simonay Greef van die DA, maar hier staan ek ook as 'n inwoner van Kimberley, 'n boerling van Kimberley. Ek praat hier namens 'n gemeenskap. Ek staan teen die bil. Die rede hoekom ek teen die bil staan, dat ek gou 'n klein scenario vir ons skets. Huidiglik in die Beers is daar zamazamas wat illegal dig daar. Daar word mense gemoor daar, van die mense, van die zamas, moor hulle inwoners van Suid-Afrika, van Kimberley, want die meeste van die zamazamas is buitelande. So my rede hoekom ek sê, hoekom ek teen dit staan is, die crime rate raak hoog. Van buitelanders kom in en vat oor en dan moor hulle ons mense vir die grond. Ons crime rate raak hoog, dit is illegal. Daar is so baie goed wat vir ons kan expose hoekom ons teen dit moet staan. Die dag as ek saam met die ding gaan, dit sal wees wanneer ons government minder die buitelanders grond gaan gee, van dit is waarna dit toekom. Ons buitelanders het meer reg op grond hier as wat ons van Suid-Afrika het. So die government moet begin die mindset verander, sodat ons as Suid-Afrikaners ons mindset ook kan verander om te leer om ons eie land te kan handle. Maar op die oomblik staan ek daarteen. Ek hou nie daarvan nie, want die crime rate raak verskriklik hoog. Die phase in die Beers waar die zamazamas nou huidiglik is, dit was 'n phase 2 vir housing vir inwoners van die Beers. Daar kan nie gebou word nie, want daar word gedig. Daar word mense, daar word lyke gekry en dit word gesmoor. Dit kom nie uit nie. As hulle straf kry vir dit, kry die buitelanders straf 10 jaar vermoord. Hoeveel criminal records of kriminele dade het hulle aangevang buite in hulle se lande? So ons government moet begin hulle se mindset reg kry en sê dat as hulle die ding gaan vir ons inwoners van Suid-Afrika sal gee, dan moet hulle mindset reg kry en sê buitelanders gaan nie hier in ons Suid-Afrika kom en kom oorvat nie. Maar soos op die oomblik gee hulle ons grond aan buitelanders. Dit is my rede hoekom ek dit teenstaan. Dankie.
Good afternoon. My name is Simone Greef. I'm a DA representative and also a resident of Kimberley. I want to speak on behalf of my community as well, and we oppose this bill. I will give you a reason for this, and I'll sketch a scenario for it as well. At the De Beers mine, there are these Zamas, illegal miners, who are digging and really wreaking havoc in the area. They are killing our locals. They have caused the crime rate to escalate to astronomical heights. There are so many of them, and there's also so many more reasons I can give you, but this is a main issue for us. This bill will not work if foreigners are able to get land. The government will need to change their mindset. That is the only way that things can work with this bill. And that is why I currently oppose it, is that the locals are being murdered and being abused and not getting land, where foreigners are committing crimes and maybe getting a 10-year murder sentence. We don't even know how many crimes they committed in the countries they come from. Yet they might even get an opportunity to own land. That is why I say a mindset change needs to happen. Government needs to say that foreigners will not be able to get land, and only the locals who are from South Africa will be able to get land. Thank you.
My name is Angie Molatano from Pokwani Municipality area, Pampurstad. I think you have heard so many reasons from Pampurstad residents. They mandated us to come here and represent them, that they agree with the bill 100%. But the only reason they want to make it clear to the portfolio committee when they go back to Parliament, they said during the process of the distribution of land, there must be a fair and square transparency during the contribution of the land. And then they said they support the bill 100%. As we have heard so many representatives from Pampurstad, according to the bill, they said the bill, it came in the right time, but it must be distributed accordingly to the rightful owners. I thank you all.
Ke a le dumedisa baeng ba rona le ba ba tlileng kokwanong e. Ke Dikeledi Mabile, ke tswa ko Pampierstad ka tlase ga masepala wa Phokoane. Ke dumalana le bili e ya go nelwa beng le hatshe ko ntleng ga Phimola Keledi. My reasons are this. As we all know, the most land belongs to the people who benefit from that in order to certain people. If this bill is passed, most people who benefit from that land, from that to use the land for agriculture and other facilities. In Pampierstad, where I stay, there is a land along the Haasrivier that was said to be shared, but those who have proved themselves to be farmers, to be given that land, but now that land has been given to those who have a lot of plots. Other thing, we look at other side, when in our township, most land is given to our schools, and they are not using it profitably. It can be shared
to do something that will benefit the school in a long run. That is building building rent houses, and that money be used by school for other purpose in school, like employing private teachers for subjects like maths and science, and commercial for students after hours. In the end, we in Pampierstad, we hope this will help us because we don't have land of our own. We can't do anything for ourselves. Our youth and elderly who likes plowing and have something to depend on don't have any land. They have to beg land from tribal authorities. That needs to be prepared first with no water in it, and our municipality are not prepared to help us. The reason our kids are drinking too much and others on drugs is because there are no recreation centers. The only place they can go to is Shebeen. Our site for recreation centers are long forgotten. People get tenders for them, but in the end, nothing has been done, and our municipality don't bother and wasted funds given to those. Se se raya gore le ha se le neilweng recreation center mo bohelong ba letsatsi le ha se leo la go tsewa le be le newa bone batho ba ba na le madi bana ba rona ba ba nna mo strateng gape ke a leboga.
Thank you, ma'am.
Just to add where she spoke with Setswana, she said her name is Dikeledi Mobile from Pampierstad in the Pukwane municipality, and she supports the bill of land expropriation and for land to be returned to the rightful owners with compensation. Thank you.
Goeiemiddag allemaal. Ek is 'n boerling van Hakana Plus op die N12 section 10 op die negatiewe kant. Dit is net 'n ramp wat aangaan op die plaas. Al wat ek wil vra is mense besig om te proseer. Maar intussen soos die wat ons altyd gedemonteer op die Hebron van Hakana. So dis net 'n ramp. Al wat ek vra is dringend aandag. Skep tog aandag op Hakana. Baie dankie, mes sterkte.
Good day, everyone. I'm just here to say that I'm a farmer and that in times like this, people often get demotivated and it's not a good thing, and I just want to say good luck.
Hello. Ek is Thamsanqa Nelson Chandu. Ek bly in Kimberley in Khalishiwe Jonaga phase 1. Ek is a registered candidate for DA Ward 11. Ek het eintlik 'n probleem wat ek wil voorgebring het terwyl van die mense wat ons lande vat en ons huise vat, ons ouer mense en ons broers en susters wat disabled is. Ja, dat is die enigste probleem wat ek wil voorbring het. Thank you.
Good afternoon, all. I'm Thamsanqa Dlambulo. I'm EFF Ward 12 chairperson here in Kimberley and councillor candidate for the upcoming elections. It is 100 years since the 1913 Native Land Act was passed by the Union of South Africa. Mandela went to prison for 27 years. He is the founding father of our rainbow nation. It is 27 years this year since the dawn of our much celebrated democracy. Yet, we still find ourselves in a situation where 80% of South Africa's land is owned by 10% or less. In Kimberley, we find a situation where Piet Els, De Beers, and all those apartheid who have benefited from apartheid still own most of the land in Kimberley. Our diamonds and gold built the economy of Great Britain. Yet, we look around, Kimberley is still very dry and has nothing and no opportunities. The apartheid status quo still exists and stubbornly still persists in our country today. This translates then to a huge problem in our society. Our country has then become the most unequal society in the entire world. I am 40 years old this year. I have no degree, no qualification, no job, and I stay in an informal settlement. My children are forced to inherit poverty from me because of my situation of landlessness. If me or my forefathers had access to land in the past, the situation would be much different. Access to land would change the narrative completely. Land is everything. Land is education. Land is health. Land is food security. Land is the end to poverty. I run an NPO that feeds more than 50 children on a daily basis.
There we go. Just like one line. Let's check the other one. If we get ambient sound, it's fine.
Yeah, got it.
1, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2. Okay, we're back here.
At the time we stopped you, you were left with 32 seconds. Remember, you have only 3 minutes, but at the time we stopped you, you were left with 32 seconds. Okay, thank you.
As I was saying, I run an NPO that feeds 50 children on a daily basis. We are desperate for access to land. I went to a Model C school. I had white friends and classmates, and out of all of us together, only the blacks find themselves in a situation similar to mine. I call for us to support the amendment of the Constitution so that we may move forward with the expropriation of land without compensation. The ruling party has dismally failed to do so since democracy. And all those who love South Africa must do the same. I thank you.
Good afternoon. I greet the MEC and all the parliamentarians that are here and all the community representatives. My name is Nozinjan Zapezaka Kumalo. I'm from Hasvater, Pokwani sub-region. I 100% support the bill and I wish it be passed. The community that I'm coming from is suffering because there we roughly own 1% of the land, and all the land is privately owned by whites and for their agricultural things. We have farms like Springbok Neck. It's owned by white farmers for a very long time, and Grafdale. And all the farms that I've talked about, they were formerly owned by black people. They were forcefully removed. And now the people who are from Springbok, they are living in Nkandla. Nkandla is a rural settlement near Hasvater town. There is a 777 area there in Hasvater, which is formerly known as Tagadi Pilayang. Tagadi Pilayang and Nkandla is almost one thing because the people who are in Tagadi Pilayang are those who owned Tagadi Pilayang. Nkandla was formerly Tagadi Pilayang. Then the 777 firm that I'm talking about, it's a cotton fabric. It is only owned by white people there, whom they only benefit from there. No black people are benefiting there. And they're hiring people from Nkandla and the nearby places. And in that fabric, the firm, people are getting injured. Some of them their fingers are being cut because of the machinery that they are using. They were not trained to use those machinery, and they are not compensated thereafter. There is a big place there near 777, where we think as the people of the area, there should be a school there. But unfortunately, there is no school. In 2017, we had a very serious accident which appeared on the news. There was a collision between a bus and a truck where a school kid died because of their traveling from Nkandla to Pampirstad for schooling, of which we think if we were given a piece of land, there should be a school in our area, that rural area. There is a case about that 777, which is now in court, and we think that it should be dealt with very, very urgently because all the people, the farms that I've mentioned, people were forcefully removed. And my wish is that all should be investigated and be evaluated. And all the state-owned properties should be reviewed because only whites are benefiting. I thank you.
Good afternoon. No, my name is Carl Patrick. I'm coming from an area near Kimberley called Rodepan. We, or me in particular, on behalf of the community, I think the expropriation bill is a bit late. We need to continue with it as fast as possible. We are staying in an area where you need to do everything in a small township. Even our kids don't have recreational facilities, and it's right. Our kids don't have recreation facilities. Then it takes time. we only have one burial site where most of our people are laying. We don't have another space. At the back of Rodepan, you have a place. But due to all the processes and procedures we need to go through to get that land so that we have another burial site. For now, the one that we are having is closed. Rodepan has in our ward, we are staying in Ward 1, we are having more than 5,000 eligible voters. So that in conclusion says to me that we can have more, if we can have more land, because the issue that makes the significance of land really significant into our situation is that human settlement in terms of shanties are taking place everywhere. So to us, the land is available now, just give us the land and we will redo it. At the back of Rodepan, you will also find some farmers. People are working through the land. So that land is good enough for us. So it is on that basis that one could conclude and say that give us the land so that we work the land and redo it. And we will of course see to it that we get another burial site for us in that space. Thank you.
Thank you again to all the speakers. As we indicated earlier, we are noting and recording all your presentations to us. When we are through with our public hearings, after the Free State leg, which we are starting on Thursday, we will then, as this committee, discuss all your views, the 9 provinces, the written submissions, the oral presentations, and come up with a report and a bill that we will table to the Parliament for discussions by all the political parties. We are really noting your views, and we really appreciate that you decided to spend your time with us today and participate in this important, crucial part of our democracy, in which the government of the day is consulting you in the law making. We thank you. Yes. A special thanks to King Antonio. Okay. A special thanks to King Saboa and his team that graced our event. We know the history of our country. We know and acknowledge that the first citizens and the original citizens of this country were none other than the Khoisans. We really appreciate that you have graced us. We thank all the political parties that were here today to present the views of their political parties. Thank you again. The meeting, the first one.
Ya ngo Antonio Sabo kika kitsia kwe ya bangati khwae kitsia kwe kiti khwa kiti sika sike wa kwang ike tngkai ke tnga kwang sagra walaka tang ngendi ka wisisi tat ewa parliament kuna muku o hung sin khokla kalangle hung sing hei smani chwa o beta ya he sike o ndiwi ka sa chi si kon ha ike ya muke kake khwang he ke kula tike e khwa o ka he smanong sing he ji khwang chai ke kang ong ke wisisi isang he kang situtu.
Please drive safe where you going back, and the meeting is adjourned. Thank you again.
Jango ka ke fa ta ka inka to diwi wa tsu ke ko ige tama.